Welcome back. You might have been working out for a while and wonder, should I just get a personal trainer at this point? Saw this online, see if you can relate to it. Soon it will be a year since I started working out. I've made very little progress physically. I have a little definition of my arms, but my stomach still has belly fat and my glutes and legs are still flabby. Obviously, I'm still going to keep working out, but this fact has made me so sad. Should I just get a personal trainer at this point? In this video, I'm going to go over what I believe as a guilt-free health coach, the problem with this kind of thinking, and why trying your own is better than not doing anything at all, but is far from the best. Let's get into it. My name is Reggie. I'm the founder of Fit for Freelance, where I build adaptive business leaders through compassionate health coaching. The guilt-free game plan is the most compassionate way to lose weight and feel your best without crash diets or guilt. And it's based on three parts: vision, focus, and practice. Knowing what to focus on so you can keep practicing. This is essential to staying involved, engaged in your weight loss process so you don't get discouraged and give up, and so that you can lead a healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams. So now what's going on here is you want to know that what you're doing works so you don't get frustrated and quit. See this a lot, especially at the beginning of the year, the New Year's resolutions, where you have these big goals for yourself and then something happens or you're not seeing the results that you're expecting and you wonder if something's wrong with you or if you're even doing the right things in the first place. And then you feel bad about yourself. It's frustrating. You don't get the results. And then you wonder, like, why even bother? So don't do all that. What you do is focus on the right things for yourself. Now, I believe that you should work with a trainer, but not just out of resignation, not just because you think you've tried other things. It's actually a best practice to work with someone who studies in the field that you're interested in. Click like if it's something you relate to. So I believe the moment that you decided that you want serious results and to do your best, you should have started working with someone who studies a topic. Now, a little scenario thought process to go through. Imagine picking a random person who has no idea about working out or healthy eating to teach you about it. And it's someone who looked and thought just like you about a year ago. Think about that for a second, because sometimes if you start something you don't have any experience with it, it's like you're picking a beginner to guide your process and show you how it's done. And that is not a very effective way to approach it. And that can cause you to get stuck. And that causes lots of people to quit. And that's just avoidable altogether. However, it's not all bad. Here are some perspectives I want you to think about when you're in this kind of situation, trying to decide if you should hire a trainer or if you should work with a coach. All right. First idea, you can imagine if you hadn't made any changes or efforts for the past year. How were you starting? What was your starting point? Were you already like gaining weight or feeling like you were lacking confidence or something was wrong? If you made changes based on that, that's actually something to be celebrated. A lot of people just think about making changes and then they don't actually start, and that they're just stuck from the beginning. So if you did something since last year, even if you tried and failed, or if you're not getting the results that you want, that is still a good thing. And you can compare that to if you hadn't done anything differently. The second perspective to imagine is thinking if you had worked with a trainer that entire time, what results you may have had by now. And that is, it's kind of like, something you don't want to regret it, but it's something that you want to take into consideration when you're thinking about, okay, like if I had taken these actions sooner, what kind of results would I have now? The third scenario, you can imagine what will happen if you quit. That's the really good thing about this person is they've already said that they won't quit. They're not planning on quitting. They're like, obviously, I wouldn't quit. So that's a good thing, because most people do get stuck there and then they just give up. And that's frustrating for them and they don't get the results that they want. So you can imagine what will happen if you quit. It's not going to get you where you want to go. You're not going to lose weight. You're not going to have that confidence. You're not going to feel good in all your clothes and do all the things that you imagine your life will be better when you actually make those changes. The fourth thing you can imagine is that if you keep doing the same thing, how you might feel. If you're feeling frustrated now, you're wondering if you hire a coach and you keep doing the same things that you are currently doing, how is that going to work? You're going to probably continue to wonder if you're doing the right things. And maybe another year or so before you get results. So that is something to consider. You might reach a tipping point or something might change. However, it's not likely to change spontaneously or just be a work of or an accumulation of your efforts. It's probably going to be something that you change to get a more intensified result. Five, you can imagine if you had guidance for how to adapt your workouts and training plans and eating habits so you get continuous progressive results. And this is probably the best case if you have questions about healthy eating or exercise and you don't have a study resource or someone who studies it or someone who has degrees in it or someone who builds a YouTube channel to help you understand this process, then you might just be guessing or trying to get information from places like Reddit, where people have mixed qualifications or no qualifications. There's a bunch of teenagers who are just adding their opinions to things, right? All those things could be factors, but if you have guidance for how to adapt a plan in a way that suits the healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams, then that is something to imagine going forward. What will the next 3 months, 6 months, etc., look like when you're actually doing things to improve? And you know that that's the right things to do. You know what to focus on, what to practice, what to adapt so you can stay on track with your goals for the healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams. And so that's a big thing. You're talking about confidence. That's probably a big part of why you want to change your body in the first place, is understanding what you want to do differently or how you want to feel. And that comes from understanding the process and understanding, that you are doing the right thing in the first place. Sometimes also it's about realistic expectations too. So this person was talking about some things that they were concerned about in terms of, their body wasn't looking how they expected it to, or maybe their time horizon. I don't know where they started. It could have been that a year they had a lot more work to do than they were initially expecting. So working with someone who helps other people with this and studies it and can guide you on your process, can keep you properly motivated with an adequate, correct level of your expectations and rate of change. So you're on the right track. You don't have to feel bad about yourself. So that's another benefit. Should you just get a personal trainer? Probably knowing what to focus on and what to practice helps you lead a healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams. So I do that online if you want to work with me, or if you're local in Naples, Florida, I'd love to work with you. Just book a call. We can talk about what you want, what you've tried, how I can help. You can message me on Instagram at Fit for Freelance. You can leave a comment below. Links in the description, all kinds of ways to get in touch. If you are wondering if you should get help, you probably should have already gotten help. That's the main point of this video. And I think that can be really helpful. So let me know what you think in the comments. And then next you can watch Wondering If You Need a Health Coach, What Does a Health Coach Do? That's a video about the expectations and things you want covered when you're talking about making a health plan. I'll put that on the top. And then 4 factors that tell when you're actually ready to lose weight. It's about stages of change and understanding the process. So if you were wondering if you're ready to take it to the next level, whatever that is when it comes to healthy eating and exercise, I'll put that video right below there. So that's it. As always, keep practicing. Peace.